Open wide. Here comes the drone. Today we're going to talk about everyone's favorite, very identified and identifying flying objects. We hear about drones in military conflict, for delivery services, and sometimes for pretty wild gender reveal parties. But these babies, pun fully intended, have a whole different set of applications. The basics. The first question to ask yourself is, do you want to know things, or do you want to spray and drop things? There are two types of drones regarding function. Drones for remote sensing, like mapping, which are smaller and cheaper. And drones for applying materials like pesticides, fertilizer, and cover crop seed, which are larger and more expensive. Generally, the process for using drones is, first, map the field with the remote sensing drone. Second, import that data into a computer and analyze it. If you are applying material with a drone, you should use the data to create a flight map for the application drone. Third, apply materials with the application drone. All drones are regulated by the Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, or FAA. If you are using a drone under 55 pounds for fun, you don't need a license. But as soon as you use it for anything related to business, like, say, a farm, then you need to be certified by the FAA. For smaller drones under 55 pounds used for mapping, pilots need a Part 107 certification from the FAA to operate. This process is similar to getting a pesticide applicator's license. You get the study book, study, take the test, file paperwork with the FAA, and keep up with continuing education credits. For drones 55 pounds and over, which are used for applying fertilizers, pesticides, and seeds, you need an oversized frame certificate. This process involves more paperwork, more time waiting for the FAA, more of a note from your doctor certifying your physical fitness, just more. Now repeat after me, certification. Drone pilots really don't want to skip getting certified. Starting in September of 2023, the FAA requires that each drone has a transponder, like the black box in an airplane, so they will know your drone is out there. Unless it ends up on a certain unknown island, then no one will be able to track it or explain the ending for like the next 13 years. So, how can we understand mapping drones and the information they gather? Hyperspectral, or NDBI, or NDBI, is like a built-in plant psychologist. It measures visible colors and near-infrared wavelengths, similar light spectrum that our eyes see. The camera measures the ratio between these different wavelengths and compares those ratios to known values through complicated algorithms. This can sense plant stress and track changes in plant growth, which can help predict yield, though keep in mind that NDBI cannot identify the source of the stress and where in the field the plants are stressed. Those plants need to really commit to acknowledging their own issues and doing the emotional work themselves. Farmers still need to go out into the field to diagnose what is stressing their plants. A few considerations. Once you fly the remote sensing drone, then you have to make it make sense. This is where you analyze the data and turn it into maps that give you actionable information. You might fly a 10-acre field in 30 minutes, but then spend 3 hours on the computer turning that data into a map, though that time decreases with experience. And don't be afraid of outsourcing. From computer power, data upload, and data analysis, farmers may not have the resources or expertise to do this all on their own, so it often makes more sense to hire a drone company to make maps. When it comes to application drones for pesticides, cover crops, fertilizers, and more, there are some big advantages of drones over ground sprayers. You don't need to worry about soil moisture. A drone isn't limited like a ground sprayer by wet fields. You can apply with precision and have the drone focus only on the acres having issues. Drones can follow any pattern in order to minimize drift. A few things to consider. You want to get underneath the issue. The goal is to get small droplets under the canopy so they won't evaporate as quickly. Remember that organic pesticides work on contact, and that coverage won't work below 2 gallons per acre. So if a company tells you that they can spray with less, hot tip, find another company. And always do a jar test if mixing multiple materials, because drones don't have an agitator, it's just a volume pump. For drone planting, it's all about cover crops. It's common to plant red clover into winter and spring wheat, or any small grain, or planting many different things into standing corn. Clover, kale, turnip, radish, rye, or mix. And remember, this is all very new, so even the experts are just learning what drones can do. Some growers are even using drones to drop biologicals or beneficial insects. Assuming you're not doing this yourself, here are a few tips for working with a drone company. Ask how many acres the pilot has sprayed and how many acres they do per season. A rough rule of thumb from one drone professional is 3,000 to 5,000 acres per season is enough for a drone pilot to know what they're doing. You can also take a material whose label you're familiar with and ask questions to figure out if they follow label rates or will apply off-label. You don't want a company that is willing to apply off-label. You'll also likely get a price break if you contract multiple applications, because the company has to make a field map whether they apply once or 3 times that season. Now, let's fly into our favorite fast farm financials. Drone application prices should be similar to the price of ground application. The price per acre will rise based on the volume or weight of the application, the distance from the drone pilot's base, and the more obstacles in a field. A mapping drone can cost $2,000 to $5,000 depending on the model, and an application drone around $46,000. Custom application hire should run about $30 per acre, but it's important to keep in mind that drone technology is new, and current drones are often obsolete in 1 to 1.5 years, which should be a consideration before investment. So, it could be possible that these are not the drones you are looking for. It's totally doable to transition to organic. Give me $5. Hey, what are you doing? Do you have your FAA certification? Hello? Are you 55 pounds or over? I think I was just about to get $5.